I'm Sheriff David Soward, S-O-W-A-R-D. To my right is Chief Deputy Jake Guerra. To my left, Captain Max Peralta. And behind me are members of my investigative staff who worked on this double homicide case over the past week. This started last Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, June 28th, or the morning of June 29th. Shortly after 5 a.m., we responded to a house fire in Leming in the 100 block of Peach Street. A resident who resided at the home part-time was returning home about 5 o'clock in the morning, saw smoke coming from the trailer. He did go inside. There was too much smoke for him to do anything, but the fire was not burning intensely at that time, due to a lack of oxygen. Fire department arrived. They were able to go in and pull the body of a female out while they were extinguishing the fire. She was the homeowner and resident. Her name was Laura West, age 43 of Leming. We later determined she had been shot in the head. Her roommate, a second female, by the name of Mary Hines, H-E-I-N-Z, age 33, thank you, age 33 of Leming, was missing. Mrs. Hines' vehicle was at the residence. All her personal belongings were still there, but she was nowhere to be found, which sparked off a mystery right away with that. So the next 6 days was a pretty intense investigation regarding the murder and the disappearance of the second victim. The past several days, my investigative team has spent several hours working day and night, gathering information, evidence, and video surveillance from security cameras in the neighborhood and around the area. On Monday, a suspect was developed, and we began to focus on this suspect. This suspect was a known acquaintance of Mary Hines, and maybe possibly had dated Mary Hines in the past. Yesterday, on July 4th, sheriff's investigators put this suspect under surveillance. He was working at a fast food restaurant in Pleasanton. Shortly before 9 p.m., 2 investigators observed the suspect come out of the restaurant, move his vehicle close to a dumpster, get out of his car, retrieve 2 black plastic trash bags from his car and place them in the dumpster. When the suspect left work about 45 minutes later, he was stopped by sheriff's deputies and interviewed on the side of the road. At the same time, one of my investigators went into the dumpster and retrieved the 2 black plastic trash bags and found they contained partial human remains. The suspect was taken to the sheriff's office here in Jordanton, where he was interviewed. He consented to an interview and subsequently confessed to killing both Laura West and Mary Hines. The suspect agreed to take investigators to where the body of Mary Hines was located. So after midnight last night, he directed us to a county road about 5 miles north of Poteet, and we stopped where he told us to stop, and we looked where he told us to look. So in the side of the road next to the fence and some high grass that had been pulled over, the body was our second victim, Mary Hines. Obviously, she had been deceased for a few days. At this time, we don't know exactly when Mary Hines died. We know what the suspect is telling us, but we'll wait and determine what the evidence shows us as to when Mary Hines died. But she was also shot. As I mentioned, the suspect gave a full confession to investigators. He is currently in the Atascosa County Jail. He has been charged with capital murder, and that's for the causing the death of two individuals in the same episode. His bond has been set at $1 million by Justice of the Peace Willie Leal. His name is Rosendo Jesus Montoya, age 27, of Poteet. And I will possibly answer a few questions if y'all have any.
You mentioned that maybe he was an acquaintance of both ladies. Given that the age difference, how was that related?
He's 27. The lady, Mary Hines, was 33.
So what was the motive of the murder? Do we know that at the time?
We don't know everything, but I can tell you that the suspect was basically obsessed with Mary Hines.
What were the remains found and where were they found? That he dropped in the dumpster?
I'm not going to go into detail of what was in the dumpster other than partial human remains.
Did they have a relationship, both the individual and Mary?
Mary Hines and the suspect had, in the past, had a dating relationship.
Has the suspect have any other prior criminal history?
No, ma'am.
Reason to believe any of this would happen?
No, ma'am.
Could you please spell his name, please?
His name is spelled Montoya. Montoya, first name Rosendo, Rosendo.
Was she killed in that home, or was she killed elsewhere?
Well, we know what he told us, but we're going to wait and see what the evidence shows as to where Mary Hines was killed before we say.
So during
Go ahead.
the fire, one body was found,
Correct.
and then probably he killed the other lady because she was a witness, maybe?
Well, we think he went there to get Mary Hines. The other lady was collateral damage, basically. Happened to, she lived there and he confronted her, or she confronted him. He possibly, we believe he broke into the house.
Did he start the fire to hide the murder, you think?
Yes, we believe that he started the fire in an attempt to burn the crime scene down, which did not happen. JB?
Now, is he a resident of the country or Pleasanton?
Yes, he is.
Do fire marshals know where the fire may have started?
Yeah, the fire, I think, started in the living room. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And it was obviously intentionally set, Daniel, and the fire marshal's office here in Atascosa County is working on the arson part of this case to determine how the fire started. But basically, of course, but we know that based on what the suspect has told us.
So has something like this ever happened before where there's been limbs involved or, human remains like this? And also, how many murders does Atascosa County see, and is this unusual?
Well, we've had double homicides before, and let me reiterate, there was no mention of limbs, okay? So there was partial human remains. I'm not going to go into the detail of what that was at this point in the investigation. But we've had double homicides before. A case like this one is extremely rare, extremely rare.
So today, with these two homicides, how many you have checked in the county?
For,
How many homicides?
for this year,
Mhm.
5,
Yeah, we had that double before.
yeah, 5,
With these two?
yes, sir.
Has this suspect had come on your radar before, or is this the first time you've heard of him?
No, he has not.
Did you say they were both shot in the home, or do you not know exactly how that happened?
Okay. Laura West was shot at the home, okay? At this point in time, we're not saying where Mary Hines was shot until we can prove that. All we know is what he told us, which I haven't said what he told us, but other than he shot her. He shot both of them. JB?
Was this a legal weapon or stolen?
It was a legal weapon.
Can you tell us what kind of weapon it
It was a 9mm pistol.
So pretty much is this case, double murder case, Sheriff, solved for her?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is solved. There's a lot of follow-up investigation work to be done, and we'll be working on that the rest of this week and probably way into next week to tie up loose ends in this case. I will tell you one other thing. This was very well thought out and planned by the suspect over several weeks. In my opinion, this is the making of a monster, and hopefully we stopped it from getting that far, or any further, I should say.
How do you know it was a long plan?
Well, our investigation so far and things that he has told us, JB has confirmed that this is something he's been planning out. And he went through a lot of steps to try to cover his tracks and stuff, but criminals do get sloppy though.
So he confessed to the fact that he had been planning all this all along?
Yes.
You mentioned you found him north at a county road in Poteet. Does that have any significance to, that's where you found Mary, does that have any significance to the case overall, where she was found?
No, not really. I don't think. It's probably about 5 or 6 miles from where he lives. Other than that, I don't know of any significance.
What was his mistake? You said it was very well planned, but, he got sloppy. What was his mistake that led to?
I'm not at liberty to talk about that right now.
Can you tell us the location of what road she was located at?
Not yet. Not until we complete our investigation, and that's something I probably could tell you next week. But we got a lot of things to do. These guys have a lot of work to do. They've been working around the clock. They worked 10 hours on July 4th when most everybody else is at home, spending time with their families.
Would you say that he hasn't been caught a serial killer in the making?
That is a possibility, yes, sir, based on what I see. And that's my opinion.
Was there any other individuals that he was attached with?
I'm not aware of any.
Are you guys purposely not disclosing the restaurant?
That's correct. I don't think that's important right now. The restaurant is not at fault, and I don't think that's important. Yes, sir?
Sheriff, the two victims are residents of the county, right?
That is correct. Ms. West is a lifelong resident of Atascosa County. Ms. Hines, I think, was born and raised in Florida and moved here at some point in time.
You mentioned another individual that saw the smoke, and this individual lived there as well?
He did stay there part-time, not full-time. But he was working late that night, and we accounted for him working late at that night and for where he was, and he was just going home. He pulls up and sees the smoke, and that's all been checked out. Any other questions?
Thank you, Sheriff.
Is this gang related? at
No,
all?
sir. No, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, guys.